I'm lucky for my fingers, a lucky bed to sleep, a lucky thoughts to linger, lucky as I leave. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke in two. But I'm lucky, so lucky for the times I spent with you. Hello and welcome to the Lo-Fi Lounge. This is Chris LeRoy. We have a variety show for you. There's going to be music and film and interviews, all in one 20-minute package. So glad you're here. We'll get started right now. It's hard to think about my teen years, my room, my desk, my very being without the blues force that was Peter Green. Folks come to the blues in various ways. My dad had Ray Charles records, so there was Ray's voice and piano. Mahalia Jackson was my other deep intro. But I found Peter Green in those early imported Fleetwood Mac albums and Then Play On. I was injected with this world-weary young man's blues. Not the song, the life. His voice and guitar spoke to me directly. His blues songs were pure blues. His daring blues reconstructions led to epics like Green Manalishi and Oh Well. Those made me wonder, how does someone go about writing a song, much less live in it? The blues took Peter years before his death at 73. For some artists, art is not an escape, but the demon that makes you run. I sensed this real pain in his music from the start, and I hope he found his peace. My love to Peter Green for his towering art and sacrifice. I remember you, you're my distant star, deep into your blue, and closer where you are. I can hear your words, can't you hear my song? Deep into your blue, back where we belong. I might be only sleeping, but you can help me count the ways, 'cause I can't dream for days, days. And I remember you walking through the rain, across the fields of gold, but never back again. And maybe I'm still sleeping, but you can help me count the ways, 'cause I can't dream for days, days. Can't dream for days, days. Hold on, secret heart, words that we could make rain true. We
and these characters, just looking at them really quick, it's almost like a novella with them. It's like you want to know more about them because they're interesting. And of course, they're like almost mentors or inspired you in the way you look at things. But I mean, what is it about people like that kind of interest? I mean, they're not going to be the most positive, progressive people. What is it about them that would interest anyone?
Well, I think why is the movie Sid and Nancy so good?
Right.
I mean, in truth, why is Taxi Driver? Why does The Hustler or HUD or any of even Kurosawa's films where Straw Dog or I think Toshiro Mifune does this many times. Is he's able to play almost a despicable character.
Sure.
Yet in that kind of depraved nature, there is a different kind of quality that's bigger.
Well, probably the top one would be all the heartache I brought my mother. Seriously, that would be it. And how I've disappointed her above all other people. My mother. And letting her down, breaking her heart many times. Many times. That would be my main regret. After that, I could go on. Well, I should have gone to college and done this, or I wish I would have stayed away from certain people. I wish I would have stayed away from drugs and alcohol abuse. I try not to think about it too much. I always want to remember people the way they were. It's just like, have you ever seen The Outsiders, that movie, and then he's talking about being golden, at the end when they're talking, and in other words, there's something about a certain periods in your life that are special, and you always want to remember, I do anyway, remember people just like that,
So, Hub City Heroes, final thoughts, anything you'd like to say that for viewers to take in, and what should they take with them?
Well, they should take with them the idea that they're part of a global community, and the problems and situations that anybody has are almost common to every person in any culture. I mean, we have ups and downs, and there are some people that are going to survive, and some people are not going to survive. I mean, it's a question. Say, what is life all about?
Sure. Is that a hopeful message, do you think, or do you think the viewer creates their own hope or optimism, or if not, then how do we find that hope?
I think it is a hopeful message, except it has a mask over it. I mean, there's a tincture, there's a coloring saying life isn't always going to be good. Yeah, but it's like the one character says, I liked it when life was beautiful and everything was golden. I think, maybe that's what you take away from anything in your life. How do you make life golden?
I like that. Okay. I think that's what we need to find. You can watch the whole thing. You should watch the whole thing, in fact, streaming on Chris LeRoy's Lo-Fi Lounge, right?
We're going to be actually showing, we're going to have a date where the whole thing will be uninterrupted. Awesome. And everybody gets to watch it as a complete film.
And absolutely should.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cellophane night, a best of time if you remember right.
I bless the day I found you. I wanna stay around you, and so I beg you.
The recent death of Fleetwood Mac guitarist and vocalist Peter Green was sad news for the classic rock music community. It caused me to wonder if he ever played the Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino. A bit of research revealed the answer. But first, a little background information on Peter Green. He was the founder and driving force behind the original Fleetwood Mac. The classic 1960s lineup consists of Green on guitar and vocals, Mick Fleetwood drums, Jeremy Spencer guitar, Danny Kirwan guitar, and John McVie bass. Green was known to be a humble person that tried to keep his ego in check at all times. When Fleetwood Mac was formed in 1967, he did not name the group after himself, as recommended by management, but after band members Mick Fleetwood and John McVie. Today, over a half century later, Fleetwood and McVie are still members of Fleetwood Mac. One of Green's best-known compositions with Fleetwood Mac was Black Magic Woman. It was released as a single in the UK and received considerable airplay. In the United States, the song was covered by Santana. December 1970 saw this rendition reach the number 4 position on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It was to be the highest charting single for Carlos Santana until his late 1990s comeback. In 1998, both the Fleetwood Mac and Santana bands were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Peter Green attended the ceremony and sat in with Santana as the band played Black Magic Woman. Green was with Fleetwood Mac for only 3 years. He sadly suffered lifelong mental health issues. His experimentation with LSD only made a bad situation worse. After his plunge into psychedelics, he was never quite the same musician. Green left the group in 1970 for a solo career that never quite took off. Green's departure left Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Jeremy Spencer, Danny Kirwan, and the recently recruited Christine McVie to carry on without him. But the road was about to deal the band an unexpected turn of events. In February 1971, while in Los Angeles on the California leg of Fleetwood Mac's U.S. tour, Jeremy Spencer told the band that he was going out to a religious meeting. After not returning, the band became concerned about his well-being. After several days of frantic searching, the band discovered that Spencer had joined a religious group known as the Children of God. He told the band that he had no intention of returning to Fleetwood Mac. The band was put into a bind because they were obligated to play the remaining shows on the tour or suffer a financial loss. To continue the tour, they reached out to none other than Peter Green to step in as a replacement. Green agreed to do it, but insisted on playing only new material and none of the music that he had written. He played only their last week of shows. One of these shows took place on February 19, 1971, at the Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino. On that date, Fleetwood Mac appeared with Quicksilver Messenger Service, Mike Bloomfield and Friends, and the Robert Savage Group. They performed before an announced sellout crowd of 7,200. In a February 23, 1971 newspaper review that appeared in the San Bernardino Sun, reviewer Henry Mendoza said of the band, quote, "Fleetwood Mac, the band that was least expected to get into it, was the best part of the show. Fleetwood Mac provided the audience with the best musical sounds of the night. Fleetwood Mac played what was possibly the most tasteful rock and roll in addition to having the purest performance of the evening. And the audience reaction showed it. This was perhaps Peter Green's one and only appearance in the Inland Empire as a member of Fleetwood Mac. After years of fighting off the inner demons that inhabited his mind, Peter Green passed away on July 25th, 2020, at the age of 73.
Thanks for coming to our show. We'll see you next week. Wait, we got one more thing.
To that guy back there, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Diana T-shirt.